I think we'll probably move on to AFL right now because one
Ooh.
of my favorite things has kind of come up, and I love how this team is being so aggressive with realistically everything they're doing right now, and that is the Gold Coast Suns.
Mm.
I think the Gold Coast Suns next year will be one of the best teams in the AFL. If it's not next year, it will be the year after. This is the only time I've ever said this about Gold Coast. I've never predicted them to make the eight, but something about their team is really starting to shape up. And there's a rumor that they're already going and being aggressive for players, with it being reported today. I'm reading this right now. Gold Coast Suns are leading the charge for Taylor Walker's signature, per Chris Dietmar, something I don't even know.
It
And
doesn't
don't get me
matter.
wrong, Tex is not a great player, right? I think he kicked 50 goals last year. This year, I don't think he's that good. I mean, I don't know how he'll be next year, but I'm glad they're being aggressive for these type of players because they haven't done something in quite a while. I thought the Marbia Troll signature was brilliant. Levi
Mm.
Casbolt won. Levi Casbolt is in career form. But in previous years, they've gone very quiet in free agencies and haven't done a whole lot. And if you can get Tex Walker to the team where he can maybe kick maybe a goal per game, a goal every game, do his job, just be a big-bodied half forward, come in fit. I think it'd be a brilliant signing for the team, honestly. Like to bring in a dude that could still maybe kick nearly 30 goals for you in the season while being just a big body, I think would be a really, really good thing. And apparently Adelaide haven't offered him a contract yet. That's what's being said. Is
Yeah.
this a good signing or am I overlooking it?
I think obviously it'd be good for the Suns. I mean, they're obviously building towards something now. It has looked that way in the past, but it really feels like it's gaining some sort of steam now. It's
Yeah.
not in the early days when it was Ablett taking on 22 players, or a couple of years ago when they had all the high draft picks and then they all walked out the door. I think, to be honest, I think Tex would be a lot better for them than what you were saying, like 30 goals, because he was in
Ooh.
some really good form last year, obviously, until the whole racism incident happened.
Are we going to say
Yeah.
that's why Tex dropped form? Are you going to say
I
that's
don't
the
no,
reason?
I think that's why Adelaide are getting rid of him, obviously. I
Ooh.
don't think that's because, like, I think the fresh start would do him good. Obviously he's getting
Mm.
older, so he'll drop off a little
32,
bit
33. Yeah.
from
He's a
that
little bit
form,
older.
but I think the fresh start could do wonders for him, and with that midfield they could provide him with some better service than Adelaide have, and I think he could do pretty well for himself.
Not just that, Gold Coast have, I don't know if this is a fact, but from what I'm seeing is they probably got the most picks by a non-inaugural team in like AFL history this year. They have 10
Mm.
picks going into this draft. They have
Oh wow.
I think 3 second round picks, 3 third round picks. They could have 2 first round picks. I think they have a lot of picks, and they're
Yeah.
going to trade a lot of them away to bring in certain players. There's been rumors they're already looking at Nathan Broad from the Tigers. They get a Tiger every year,
Yeah.
so don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if Nathan Broad went up there with Brandon Ellis, who was his best mate at Richmond at like a certain period of time. Wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But they're getting someone. I don't know who it's going to be, but you can't have all of those picks and not aim for
Not trade
someone.
them.
My
Yeah.
issue with them is what's going on with Mac Andrew, bro. What is Mac Andrew doing? Because if they bring in Tex, they're going to have a really established 4. Jared Witts, Tex Walker, Marbia Chol, and Ben King. That 4
Mm.
is very, very
Ben
good. The
King
4
coming
tools.
back is so huge. I think
They
they could probably make a push for the 8 next year if
they could
he's healthy
arguably
and
be in the
everyone's
finals
healthy.
right now if Ben King was playing.
I think they're doing a similar thing with Real as they were doing with Jack Steele at St Kilda as well, where he sort of plays as a defensive mid. He hasn't been getting his hands on the ball as much as he did in his first year. I think they're sort of taking this as a development year to teach him how to play defensively properly, and then really unleashing him next year next to Took Miller.
Ooh.
And once that happens and they get King back, I think they're well on their way. I reckon they're the goods.
Are we saying they're making the 8 next year? So if they add Tex Walker, Ben King to their team, what will they have this year? Another 5th pick player? Whoever that's going to be.
They're making the 8 every single year. There's somebody that says they're going to make the 8, but I think either next year or the year after, they might be that year away from being a year away. But it is coming this time.
I've never predicted the Gold Coast Suns to make the 8 in my life. And I could honestly...
I think I did in like 2014, but that's about it.
I could honestly be on the train to say they could next year.
Yeah.
They just got to fix that back line up. Like if they get 2 key forwards in, I think, the back line would be the thing. Oh, and Isaac Rankin, they've got to secure his signature because I think you need a small forward to play alongside those big men there as well. But if they can get, if they get Nathan Broad in, that would be a solid pickup for their team.
A really solid player.
They should have drafted Gibcus, man. What were they doing? What were they doing not drafting Gibcus?
Gibcus is good. I mean, he got tailed out by Buddy, but who doesn't get tailed out by Buddy, really?
Well, I mean, they had pick 4, and
so good.
There was rumours they were going to take Gibcus, but they went with Mac Andrew because he was the Queensland product.
That makes sense, though. They've had so many players leave the club, they probably wanted to take him.
And they also said, because they didn't expect Levi Casbolt to be this good, obviously.
Yeah.
There was rumours they were obviously going to play Mac Andrew a little bit earlier than I expected. I think they were always going to let him have a year off this year, unless Levi Casbolt was just utterly shit. Like, was as bad as he was at Carlton at times. But, so what are we saying? Tex Walker to the Suns. So we're saying it is a good move, or is the other alternative, do they inject maybe Mac Andrew into the lineup eventually next year?
Oh, look, I don't know if it's necessarily Tex, but getting some talent in instead of shipping talent out for once, I think is just a good thing for the Suns in general.
Would be a good result.
They're on the way. I think they don't particularly need a key forward that badly with the return of King, and obviously Casbolt's form has been insane. Marbia Chol's only going to get better once Casbolt starts fading.
And Mac Andrew, he's still just sitting there.
Mac Andrew's still sitting in the reserves. So they've got a lot of options, and really just any sort of veteran player, or just even if it's a young player, any talent coming in is better than it coming out. So can't argue with any of those moves.
There you go. All right. I think we can agree then that the Tex Walker situation would be good.